Chessman Dan, playing chess every day until Hazel gives me a french fry. Today's day of chess was quite exciting. I've played 7 games and I won probably like 60% of them. 60 to 70, so I lost 3 games. For anyone new to the channel, welcome. My name is Chessman Dan, and at the age of 24, I decided that I was going to learn how to play chess. So I play chess every day. I record my progress, and pretty good. If we go here to my profile, Chessman Dan 36, I am at 558 rapid. Pretty good. I even did insights, and as white, I usually play the Vienna, and according to chess.com's insight, I have a 61% win rate with the Vienna. And as black, I usually play the Carl Khan. I have like a 55% win rate. Pretty good. So we'll be covering the last game I've played. I do want to cover this guy. I'm pretty sure he cheated. Why do you say that? Well, we both had really high accuracy rates. However, this game was a 29-move game, and I went back and inputted the moves in analysis, and he played every move by the book. He literally did. I played really well too. So I'm very proud of myself. Towards the end, I lost due to time, but I was going to lose anyway. I have a 98% accuracy rate. We both had 98s. Then middle game, I dropped down 83. He goes to 96. I'm not going to say anything that he cheated or not, but when this is a 29-move game and you make every book move, you know, and he kept reconnecting. So he literally, in between each move, you see reconnect, and he makes the next move. That's fine though. It's just I'm only 550 elo, so it's not that big of a deal. But I'm gonna cover the last game I played, the Vienna. It ended up in a checkmate, and I just want to show how puzzles have been helping me. So in terms of my study, I'm gonna only play 10 games. No more than 10 games, and the rest of the time will be used for studying because I've been playing way too many games, so I need to slow down and analyze. So this was a 15-move game, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So starting at the Vienna, you go e4, and e4, my opponent goes e5, most natural move. Here, knight c3, typical Vienna setup, you're protecting the pawn, and here my opponent goes bishop e4. I don't know what he's. Every time I see an early bishop and potential queen attack, I think that whole idea is, hey, they're trying to check. You do some 4-move checkmate. So I see this, I'm like, all right, we're already starting the middle game. I have my pawn up. The whole idea is I'm gonna get my knight out and do some sort of like King's Gambit style approach. My opponent takes, which is fine, because then I put my knight at f3. Typically, this is kind of. This whole pawn setup and knight setup is pretty common with the Vienna. However, this bishop is the outlier. My opponent kicks out his bishop, his knight to f6. I respond, pawn e5. I don't think this was the best move. In hindsight, I was like, ugh. Because normally he would go back. If he were to go here, normally I would be able to take. However, I could have taken actually. I don't know why I did. Never mind. For whatever reason, my opponent moved. Well, my opponent moved here, and I was under the assumption that I couldn't take because my knight was pinned. But that's dumb on me. Regardless, my opponent goes here. I should have taken. I probably should have taken. But I literally did not take with the knight because I was under the assumption that my knight was pinned. I don't know why. In hindsight, I feel very dumb. So he takes. I take. And my opponent moves back. I'm not uncomfortable with this position, but I'm like, come on, dude. Like, in hindsight, what an idiot. Here I take, I get my pawn back. So it's still even. So I'm still way more developed than my opponent. I just don't like my development because I essentially stacked my pawns on the c file for no reason. I could have just taken with the knight. And I would have continued the game. So my opponent goes pawn f5. I now castle. The whole idea is castling, getting my king safe, and also there's a semi-open file in the d file. My opponent now decides to kick out his his queen. So I respond with bishop to g5. The whole idea is I'm putting pressure on his queen. He can't. Taking would be really bad because I would just respond with the knight. So instead, my opponent goes pawn e6. So I see a free bishop. So I'm going to try to take it. My opponent responds queen to g6. So the whole idea with this is, hey, I'm offering a queen trade. You might think, hey, you left your queen hanging. No, I didn't. I still don't like this position, but I'm still winning. I could still pull off a win here. But the moment my opponent declines the queen trade, he left his bishop hanging. And now, this is where puzzles have been helping me in terms of, I immediately spotted a checkmate opportunity. What is that checkmate? Well, if you see e7 is putting, e7 is now being targeted by the queen and the bishop. And the king can't move because the bishop is controlling this diagonal and the queen is controlling this diagonal. So I'm like, oh man, if my opponent makes any move, well, there's a couple moves. He probably could do 2 moves, a few moves, but regardless, I'm like, this is my opponent see checkmate. My opponent goes here, and I'm like, oh damn, maybe he did see the checkmate. I don't know if this is what my opponent intended, but the whole idea is if I were to go here, the only legal move would be here, take with the knight. So I was like, okay. Sometimes I could spot checkmate patterns, and I'm like, there's an easy way to see if your opponent. You could test the waters, especially at a low elo, to see like, hey, does my opponent see this? So I move my bishop to b5. The whole idea is, hey, if he really doesn't see it, he'd probably move it right here. That's what I thought. My opponent stays strong. He instead kicks out his pawn h5. The moment he kicked out his pawn h5, I'm like, okay, he doesn't see the checkmate. Why doesn't he see the checkmate? Because it would have been a great time to move the queen, or do something to counteract this queen, my queen, from going to h7 or e7. So I take. Now it's like, all right, does my opponent now see the checkmate? He does not. And checkmate. This game was like 2 minutes long. I was really happy with it because I spotted the checkmate. In hindsight, another reason why I love documenting my games is not so much for content, but you just saw a realization. If we go back here, I realized I could have taken that. I could have taken that knight and not double stack my pawns. That would have been perfect. However, literally in the game, I was like, my knight is pinned. I can't take it. Regardless, this was a really good game. I'm slowly getting better at chess, and